Talk a little bit now about like how you teach women and how you sort of figured out how to teach women and in what ways it's different.
I used to run this business, Alaska Yoga Adventures, and it was doing a yoga retreats, but in the wilderness. So not super bougie, but backcountry travel in addition to yoga. And those were primarily women groups. And so that's when I got my first exposure teaching to women specific. And that's when the light bulb went off. Like there is sometimes a different learning environment that happens. I think, and that I don't know. I don't know if you want to call it like girl power or feminine energy, but there's this slightly different atmosphere, I think, for women's courses. And then learning a little bit about learning styles. There's a part of the brain that's twice as big in a female that processes new experiences or manages fear through talking. So a learning style with literally me teaching something and asking questions and talking it through. I didn't see that as much in a male learning environment, but I saw a lot of women's learning environments. On a personal level, I love hanging out with women. So they're fun courses for me to teach. But too, there's a lot, I think, of ladies that have come into pack rafting and trying to learn from their boyfriends or partners that don't, I think, have as much experience in the fear game or two, there are, I think, some physical, every body is different, but two, smaller people that don't have more muscle mass or a bigger skeletal structure. It's not a disadvantage, but there are things that are, I think, harder, like getting back into the boat or accessing some of these paddle strokes. Because I think as myself being a petite person, I'm like 5'2", I got to figure out kind of some life hacks for those. The actual curriculum is the same. Like we're learning the same set of paddling skills. And I call it situational awareness, like reading whitewater, what to think about, what to look for. And then two, I think I offer lots of stories too that are a little bit relatable. Like, hey, I've made every mistake you can possibly make as I was figuring out how to learn the sport. But two, I think creating that like safe judgment-free learning environment. The first thing I mentioned to folks, there's no such thing as a dumb question. There's a reason why we're all here together trying to learn. And if they've got a dumb question, well, someone else probably has it too. If it's going through your head, I probably messed that up. So I'd love to share with you what I found out. And I think there's a little bit this too. These are generalizations and not always true, but I think when you start like a learning environment like that, people, I think, don't have the need to preserve their egos or feel embarrassed or inferior.
Do you think that's something that happens with women more often?
I think it can be. I think anyone can feel embarrassed or inferior, but I think if you're coming into a sport that is challenging and you're learning with like a male group that doesn't feel as scared, or they have physical advantages, I think there's a lot of things you can tell yourself, whether it's, I'm not like big enough, I'm not strong enough, or, I don't know why I'm scared, the like self-talk when you're learning a new sport.